You're at home and you're Borussia Dortmund playing a team that's already on vacation. And you can't get the job done.
Incredible, and it is goal difference in the end that separates the two sides. Archer Tuchel was in Dortmund for this game, and he spoke to Edin Terzic after the result.
Edin, commiserations. Just on a human level, difficult to watch what you and your players have had to go through. How can you sum it up?
It's difficult to find the right words. We feel empty. Because we knew about the chance, we can feel the energy within the stadium, within the city, and we all wanted it so hard. And in the end, we've been so close. It was one goal that was missing at the end. It was one goal in the other stadium that was missing. And yeah, before the game, we knew that we are 90 minutes away to lift the trophy, and we tried everything to prepare ourselves for a good game, and then you can see. So this is the game that we fell in love when we've been kids, and sometimes it feels hard, sometimes it's tough to miss a penalty, to concede 2 early goals, and then all of a sudden everything feels so heavy. But in the end, you can feel it that we tried our best, and unfortunately it wasn't enough. And yeah, before the game we've been 90 minutes away, and now again we are 34 match days away to try it again. And yeah, tomorrow we're going to start a new try.
Do you think it was the most human emotion of realizing, I guess, what was in front of you that ultimately kicked in?
Yeah, it's difficult to answer that kind of question because nobody knows. I had the feeling that we had a good start. We've been very aggressive. We've been under control, but then we concede the goal on a set piece. We missed our chances, we missed our opportunity, and then of course if you're 2-0 down, we lost a bit of our patience to prepare our attacks. But it's now impossible for me to find the right analysis after what happened. We just know that we are really sad about that we couldn't give back to the crowd what they deserved, and but we can promise that we're going to start again from tomorrow on.
Just finally, I had a text from a Dortmund fan today who just wanted to thank you for what you've given him and his fellow fans here today, and we saw that with the way that they received you. Will you take any consolation out of what you, plural, as a trainer team, have done here in building that connection back to the fans? Because it felt like something still this season.
Yeah, we said it from day one that if we want to compete and if we want to be successful, it's not enough to have 11 players or 26 players in the squad. It's not enough to have 700 or 1,000 employees. We need everybody. We need everybody to stay positive. We need everybody to believe. We need everybody to lift themselves up, even if it's tough. As I mentioned, it feels very unfair today because we've been through so many setbacks this season. But again, this is a test, and again they're going to test us, and they're going to try to see how much we can take. And so we have to lift ourselves up. We have to get the energy back, and then we're going to try a new attempt from the beginning of July, and then we have to improve. But we've been on a really great way the recent months with a good year 2023. We are on a good way, but unfortunately today without a happy end. So we have to fight for the next season, and hopefully next season we're going to have a happy end.
Every time I've had you here, mate, it's been a pleasure. Thank you. We will see you next season. Edin Terzic, all the best. Thank you.
Wow, honest and frank interview there from Edin Terzic after the game. Let's get some more reaction now. Let's welcome in, shall we, Derek Ray, who was calling the Bayern Munich game. And of course, as we saw, Archer Tuchel at Dortmund pitch side for us. Archer, I've got to start with you. What on earth was it like to be there?
So I've just watched back all the highlights that you've shown there in the interview. Mate, I'm exhausted. I'm absolutely exhausted emotionally. And I had no horse in this race. I couldn't sleep last night alone at the prospect of what today was going to be. And did it deliver? I mean, there's words that I wanted to say there that I can't say on television, but it's incredible. Like from a Bayern perspective to have somehow ended up with this title, but from the Dortmund perspective I've not seen people on the floor literally and emotionally as they were in Dortmund. Like I saw a guy outside the stadium selling T-shirts with Dortmund German champions 2023 before the game. So maybe that was the start of where things would got a little bit too confident. But look, ultimately, I think their biggest strength turned into their weakness today, which is that emotionality that they have under Edin Terzic, because they just felt too much what it was going to mean to win. And you saw all those chances that they had, and I think they overthought it. And it's very sad from a Borussia Dortmund perspective to have come that close. For someone like Marco Reus, that poor guy, how much pain can one human being take in a career? Missing out on Germany's World Cup success in 2014 because of injury. The only World Cup he then goes and plays at was in 2018 when Germany were at their worst. With Borussia Dortmund, it's painful memory after painful memory, whether it's Champions League final, never winning a Bundesliga title, and you think, it's here for you, Marco. But no. So, yeah, desolate in Dortmund. And I just saw on my way driving out, just people sat on grassy knolls, looking into the distance, 1,000-yard stares, wondering, where did it all go wrong?
You're going to shout at me. I'm ready for it, Archie. They bottled it in the end, though, didn't they?
I won't shout. I don't have the energy for that. I think that they didn't quite have the quality to get it over the line. And there's something about a coldness of mentality that Bayern Munich have with their experience, and so many players with that X factor. And one of them who hasn't showed up in the second half of the season did in the final minute. So, yeah, I find it very hard to accuse Sebastian Haller, a man who has come back to play football having had cancer earlier this season, of lacking bottle. I will not do that because he has more bottle than any of us in the world for beating cancer and coming back and playing football at this level. It is just heartbreaking, and part of why we love sport, that there is, with, on the one side, you get the joy of winning when it happens, but on the other side, you risk it all, precisely knowing that there is that pain on the other side if things don't work out for you.
Derek, from Dortmund's perspective, going into this, Mainz, as Casey said, were kind of the ideal opponent. It wasn't like you were facing off against Bayern or a team looking to survive or book a place in the Champions League. And that's what, if I was a Dortmund fan, I'd be so disappointed with, because this was really our chance in this 11th year to take it away from Bayern. And if you could have written it up as the opponent I wanted to face, I couldn't have chosen much better than Mainz.
Yeah, I can understand that argument, Dan. You know, I think if you look at actually both Mainz and Köln, the opponents for the respective protagonists today, you'd have said, OK, fair enough, not an awful lot on the line for those two. But the history with the Bundesliga is that these teams play until the end. And there's always motivation. And Mainz had a point to prove, having not done so well, as you've mentioned, in recent matches. But I do go along with the view that this was Dortmund's to lose. It was, I'll use a German word here, a Fernduell, which basically is a great German word for two teams going after the same prize, but playing in different venues, yet at the same time. See how long it took to say that in English? Fernduell in German. It's understandable to everyone. And this is a pressure situation always. And I think I heard Casey say that just earlier on in your little synopsis of the two games. Bayern put the pressure on early, and word gets around very quickly. It's fascinating. Obviously, I was in Köln today in the stadium, and it's fascinating to kind of feel that, to feel, okay, Bayern have scored, and you can kind of sense that, that maybe has planted the seed of fear in Dortmund minds. Archie would be better placed to say exactly what happens 74 kilometres away in Dortmund as to whether there was that feeling. But Dortmund have missed a big opportunity. But we're talking about Bayern. They are the record champions, not for nothing the record champions. And, it's interesting because apparently they all knew about Oliver Kahn and Hasan Salihamidzic being axed, the CEO and the head of sport respectively. Had to put that to one side. Thomas Tuchel had to put that to one side. He made changes to his lineup and they got over the line. And that is all anybody in the fullness of time is going to remember.
Pressure in the end, Stevie? Is that what made the difference?
No, not good enough defensively.
Right.
You can feel bad for the players and you can feel bad for the fans and Terzic and this and that. But at the end of the day, they had a problem that was staring everybody in the face and they didn't do anything about it. And that was defensively. In a year where Bayern was screaming for somebody to come and win the Bundesliga. And Dortmund weren't good enough. And nobody else was even close to Dortmund or Bayern. So that does not reflect well on the Bundesliga. If there was a year where somebody had to take a step above them, it was this year. Because Bayern are not going to be this bad next year. It just seems impossible. So I would suggest that, unfortunately for Dortmund, they didn't bottle it. They weren't good enough. And they weren't good enough because either the coaching staff or the director of football, or whoever it is, didn't make the right changes or any sort of changes defensively. You're at home, the last game of the season, you score 2 goals, you create half a dozen great chances, you should win. But no, because you can't defend, you lose the title.
And when I look at the experience of that defense, Hummels and Süle have tons of experience. You throw Emre Can in that equation as well. Marco Reus coming in early in the match. There's enough experience there. Ollie and I in the halftime were talking about missing, Jude Bellingham and the experience. The experience of a 20-year-old as opposed to those 4 players to see a match out and keep it tight at the back, knowing that you have offensive threats going forward, but instead, in that big occasion, you end up 2-0 down against Mainz at home, and you have those pillars. Now, maybe they're on the wrong side of their career, but on a massive stage, we always talk about experience as opposed to youthful exuberance when the pressure's on. Well, it didn't work today.
Archie, is it simple to say if Bellingham would have played today, it would have been a different story?
I don't know. I don't agree with Stevie. I think that they'd won their last 11 games at home. And defensively, Mats Hummels has been in superb form recently and hasn't deserved to be dropped. And actually, since the winter break, Marius Wolf at right back and Julian Riasson at left back have been excellent. I think that they lost the title in the first half of the season. They were 6th and struggling to make it into the Champions League. I didn't think they would, let alone have a chance of winning the title on the final day. And they invested a lot of money in Niklas Süle in terms of wages and Nico Schlotterbeck in the summer. I think as a team, they just had to make up a little bit too much ground in the second half of the season because they won nearly every game. So, Jude Bellingham has always made a difference. I think that he would have maybe rouse the crowd a bit more because I think that the crowd fell a bit flat. There were no updates of the goals going in Dortmund until Nobby Dickel, the stadium announcer, said Cologne have equalised, and then there was a big rush, and you wonder, did that mean that the players relaxed a bit? or would that have pushed them on? It's difficult to tell, but I think there was just so much going on in their minds. I think you're looking at one of the most emotional clubs in world football. And I mean that both in a positive sense, but also you carry that. You carry that emotion in a way that I think that some clubs in England won't. And I think that we saw that today, and we saw what can happen on the negative side of it, because, yeah, it was weird. It was just a really weird, surreal experience.
Oliver Kahn, meanwhile, came out and tweeted that this is the worst day of his life because he couldn't be there to celebrate. He was forbidden. What did Bayern do? Lock him in a room? What have they done with it?
Well, yeah, he was forbidden, apparently, his words, not allowed to be at the stadium. So, this all apparently took shape ahead of the game. Thomas Tuchel knew it. The players knew it. So there's that backdrop as well. And, you guys who've all played the game, you know how these things can creep in. Yeah, you're a professional footballer, but when you have political things going on off the pitch, that's bound to seep into your minds to an extent. But Bayern were professional. It wasn't the best performance of the season. And you showed it earlier when Köln made it 1-1. I thought it was more or less deserved. But, maybe when we analyse it, we'll look back on that moment of brilliance by a superb footballer in Jamal Musiala. And Archie said it right. He's not had a great second half of the season. He came on late in the game. And that is the bit of extra quality, I think, that Bayern have over Dortmund. I think Dortmund have a good bench. I think Bayern have better players in reserve. And, a goal to win a title, as title-winning goals go, that was right out of the top drawer from Musiala.
Very special finish indeed, Casey.
Well, it was, and considering the timing of it as well, where, they get pegged back. It's 1-1, they're losing the title, they make some changes. And then, as you mentioned, a kid that really hasn't had a great second half of the season. And so to be able to come in under that kind of pressure, have the finish that he had to lift the title for Bayern is a pretty special occasion that I'm sure that will be the highlight of Bayern's season. In a season that is not...
quite something.
It is not the season that most Bayern fans, obviously the hierarchy, will look to. They'll say, hey, remember that great goal in the 89th minute from Musiala that won us the title? And everyone will go, great.
I think, yes, if you want to put a positive spin on this from a Bayern Munich perspective on this season, that's what you remember. You remember Musiala coming off the bench and having the impact that he does. And while the record books will show that Bayern have won, was it the 11th in a row, I think people within the club, people within football will look back on this season very differently for Bayern. As one that not quite sure how we won the title, we won it, but it'll be remembered for their stumbles. On the other side of that same coin, and I understand the reluctance to say that Dortmund bottled it, kind of given the raw emotion, the rawness of it. But you're Borussia Dortmund. You're asked to play against Mainz, who are sitting 9th in the table, at home. You win the game, you win the title. And you don't. I'm not sure how else to kind of define it. I really don't. And for me, it's... Dortmund's 90 minutes felt like a team more worried about making mistakes than going out to play and win the game. And that was a huge disappointment for me with Borussia Dortmund, that they always seem to have a handbrake up. Yes, they were a little bit unlucky. I never blame anybody about a missed penalty, but you had what was 100% a second penalty that somehow the referee doesn't point to the spot for. But Mainz hit the post. In addition to scoring 2 goals, Mainz came and played their part, as did Cologne. And so as a result, taking the emotion out of it, if you sit here, you just think we can find all kinds of ways to kind of shape this around Dortmund and their squad and the lack of quality and how big the bench is. You have to win one football game to win a title. There can't be any lower an ask at this level. I'm not sure how you just shake that off.
Let's not forget, this is the second time they've thrown it away. They got themselves ahead weeks ago. Yeah. So it's not like they've had one bite at this big fat apple. They've actually made a complete and utter mess of it for the second
Twice,
time.
no, 3 times, because they had Stuttgart where they slipped up when I think they were 2-0 up. Then it's 2-2, and then Gio comes on and scores a goal in like the 93rd minute, and then they concede in the 97th. Then then Bayern messes up again. Then they're at Bochum, who's in a massive relegation fight, and they slip up there. And then they need Bayern to screw up again at home last week to give them the other. I mean, how many chances do you want?
Right.
Just before...
And at Schalke as well, Casey, in March.
Yeah.
They were ahead before that. So, we could go on.
Yep.
Archie, just one point on Nagelsmann. You of course, have spent a lot of time with him during his time in Germany. Is he happy or sad?
Do you mean generally, or with what happened?
Right now.
Right, with this result, is he like...
I think the fact that the guys who were accused of such a lack of class in the way that they sacked him in Hasan Salihamidzic, the ex-sporting director, and Oliver Kahn, the ex-CEO, the fact that someone said to Oliver Kahn, no, you're not going to Cologne, you're getting fired. I think he may be like, well, at least somebody, gave one back in the whole karma department of class, at least. And particularly because, that's what a big accusation was towards Kahn and Salihamidzic, that this wasn't the Bayern way to do it. And I'd say the way that it's happened to them today, I meing, I think the writers of Succession are going, well, that's a bit harsh, guys. I think Julian Nagelsmann has a wry smile, but still wonders, what if?
Are you just going to sleep for the whole summer now, Archie?
Sleep? Dan, we've got Bundesliga relegation playoffs. We've got the DFB Cup final next Saturday. There ain't no time for sleep yet, my friend.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.